socialist, look at how high the prices are for your hoodie, which is already stupid. What do you think socialism is? Socialism when we're nude?
Oh.
Or is socialism when we don't have division of labor? Is socialism when we can't have hoodies? Is socialism when you can't have domestically made, union made, manufactured in the United States hoodies? Is socialism when you...
When the government has a monopoly over businesses and, I guess, e-commerce, all that shit, then you can define it as socialism. We're on our way.
can't sell hoodies to fucking fund your campaign, your political campaign? The problem is Americans don't know what socialism is. So they think it's just bad. Socialism is when bad. So any kind of bad value ascribed to socialism.
Oh no, he's not going to support socialism, is he? The thing is, we are simplest terms. There we go. Yeah, but in your simplest terms, you're still going to be fucking complicated. But yeah, it's when they have control over the services. Okay, yeah. Excuse me. You're defining it as farms and factories. But I like the part where controls. Well, the government has ownership, like. Anyway, I was gonna say Russia, but I mean we're not at a full point. We're really kind of in between, but you can't define our system as socialistic just yet, because there's not full ownership of all our goods and services just yet. Excuse me. And okay, so I already got an idea that Hasanabi is a pro-socialist. So
and anything else, any normal human behavior that you engage in, especially under a capitalist societal organization, you just assume is hypocritical and antithetical to socialism.
Last year, it is in the red. It is unprofitable.
Capitalism is the solution to. I wouldn't necessarily say the answer to socialism, but it is the combatant. It is the polar opposite. So instead of government controlling goods and services, what you have is a market, a said market, where businesses, services, basically they don't have oversight. It's left to the consumers to decide where to put their money, their purchasing power to, basically. So if a business is bad, well, you don't buy any of their products. You don't support them that way. Instead of having the feds come in and do it and basically just either find the business, whatever, do whatever it needs to, take it over, change it. Who gives a shit?
To get more of you, no matter how nice.
I mean, it's a more free feeling knowing that where you could decide to put your money, like the consumer, the person, the individual has a powerful choice in where they put their money, rather than leaving it up to a government entity to make those decisions for you in the dark via regulations and so on and so on and so on. Leaving too much control with the federal government is a scary, scary thing, especially in a government where leadership is constantly changing.
It is all that they're trying to get more engagement from you. We used to colonize land. That was the thing you could expand into, and that's where money was to be made. We colonized the entire earth. There was no other place for the businesses and capitalism to expand into, and then they realized human attention. That they are now trying to.
Capitalism does not have a limit per se, right? It can only grow so much. What happens is, a select amount of businesses, they grow. You hope that they don't monopolize. That's where it gets hard, because when you start to modify capitalism when you start to modify it and do this half and half fucking decaf socialistic bullshit, where you're trying to force a capitalistic society down the route of a more socialistic one, you start to pollute it, and then slowly monopolies are allowed to grow. But a true capitalistic society with the free market, the consumers pick and choose themselves, and monopolies would be stopped really quickly, based on their purchasing power. I'll say purchasing power, what they do with the dollar, where they put their money towards to. But when you start to go half and half, monopolies have time to grow. And then there is no option to where the federal government does have to come in and has to stop these monopolies. But if it was a true capitalistic society and there were no banks bailed out or businesses bailed out, they would be allowed to fall. Like so many of these banks, so many of these businesses would have been allowed to fall. Like in our Great Recession, they would have been allowed to fall. It would be starting all over. A lot of people would have lost their money. That's how life. That's the cycle of life. It's a cycle. That's what it is. But a monopoly is created. You know, feds come in, do their socialistic bullshit. They choose who wins, who loses, and pretty soon we become a socialistic society. I mean, that's like simple terms.
Every single free moment you have.
I don't trust anyone with a lot of money that's socialistic leaning. I don't trust a person like that because they've earned money off of a capitalistic society, and they've taken that money to bring themselves to a level of power that they have over others. And then they modify this, or they want to modify the system. They want to control the system more. That's what they want to do. They want to stay in power. So, you know, socialists are really good at staying in power once they have it. They monopolize. And then you got your buddy-buddy system. That's always the thing about conservatives. Conservatives will eat each other. Democrats will destroy each other.
Could be looking at your phone and they could be gathering information to target ads at you. That's what's happening. So like,
how can I make them more simple? Conservatives are competitive. It's an MMA fight. Two conservatives going at it, and the best one wins. Whoever has the best product wins. And the other one starts from the ground up. Again.
As much as we can, you know, have really.
So yeah, I'm actually technically maybe.
Good conversations and try to humanize the conversations. The mechanism of the business is rolling towards that just because of the market. So like it's coming. It's coming for every free second you have. And that's dark. That's really, really dark and scary. And for someone like me, I grew up a little bit on the internet. And I felt the repercussions of it. I suffered from anxiety.
Oh
I know
no.
where it leads. And I'm saying, you don't want this. Trust me. You're not.
We all have anxiety.
You're not going to feel good about yourself. And you know it. The kids know it. The whole joke on the internet is everyone's like, this place sucks, right? I mean, that's kind of the thing. That's why their memes are all ironic and detached and self-referential, 12 layers deep, because truth is completely dead to them, and they know it. They look at the president. They look at the culture. They go, what the hell is this? They look at, Coca-Cola commercials that are winking at them and smiling, and they go, forget it, you know? So, ugh, I have no idea what's going to happen.
You should answer with a $110 hoodie pick and say, mine are made by U.S. union workers. What about yours? That's a decent comeback.
I think I'm so special and better than everyone else because I think I'm smarter. My opinion has to be the correct one, and I'm 100% sure of it. Just picture how narcissistic that is. Right now it's in full swing, but in 5 years, I hope it'll be gone. This side of me is my alter ego, and his name's Nico. You don't even know what that means.
What kind of shit are you watching?
Yeah.
Hasanabi, what the fuck?
We're talking about the formerly anti-imperialist YouTube content creator, Call of Duty trick shotter Sneeko.
I'm passing the torch to you. Keep spreading the message. While it's still relevant to talk about Andrew Tate, I appreciate you showing this.
Tristan said he passed the torch to me. It's a lot of... Bro, we got this.
But first, it's so pathetic, bro.
Is this all he does?
Style is what got so many people in the door, and openly sharing his personal perspectives was what
you should have put more thought and effort in.
Is this all you do, Hasanabi?
was extremely convenient too. Having just gotten out of another relationship, Sneeko had plenty of time on his hands to gather.
Well, truth, black people are more violent. than white people.
But it's not like he wasn't incentivized to do so. As we saw with Tate, this kind of reactionary content sells. Especially a few months ago when the Tate brothers were seen as rebels against the status quo that had become too woke.
No, the Tates are not. No, dude, they're chaos.
Only thing the tape
They're
brothers rebel
anarchy.
against is fucking normal hairlines.
But
dude.
they're starting to get past their. They were really smart in what they did. They know what they did.
Fucking got him. Let's move on.
But I mean, overall, I guess they'll keep it simple. The Tates, they controversy creates cash. They were controversial. They got attention. Became top trending in the world. They got canceled. Made them even more famous. Everyone knows about the Tates. They were deplatformed. Their businesses were basically, targeted. Now what they're doing, they're going out and they're saying sensible shit. It's the forgive us for our past sins. And I don't know if that was their plan from the beginning. Probably kind of just went that way because, I mean, especially Andrew Tate. I mean, he's an ESTP, extroverted sensing Dom. So it's just kind of one of those things to where it's in the moment and these decisions just happen to add up in his favor, or he knows how to utilize them and where to go from them. As an NI Dom user, I'm looking at the long term. I'm like projecting what he did, and I can see him trending back the right way, but he did it after he did all this negative shit. Very smart, very smart. And most people are very forgiving in nature. So, I mean, Tate was just on a Pierce Morgan interview, and he was calm, cool, directly answering Pierce's questions, being informal in that regard, acting like a appropriate guest. That's by strategy. And it also might be close to who he really is, honestly. Now, good things I'm sure will happen there, but but that's kind of how that happened.
The wokeness that's been infecting in these movies. Can't you tell? Like all the trans movies, they're trying to put an agenda.
Yeah, dude, there's so much trans movies out there. It's crazy.
Well, no, there are.
Where?
Well,
Motherfucker,
you don't have a Netflix
it's like,
subscription.
yo,
I'm
there's so many
sorry.
trans movies. Why do I keep watching trans porn? It's crazy. I go to Pornhub. It's all trans porn, man. That's really fucked. Where are the trans movies?
I'm so silent on that. That says my answer right there. I don't have to
You gotta
fucking
be going
say.
out of your fucking way to find these trans movies that are all over the place. You know what I mean? There are legit 12 Transformers movies. Okay, you got me on that one.
Nice.
Nico was expressing a frustration felt by
I want to see Hasanabi actually have a dialogue about a subject, not just watch a video about it. This would be I was going to actually say socialism versus communism. What's the difference? The main difference is that under communism, most property. So communism, we're looking at what, Russia? Most property and economic resources are owned and controlled by the state rather than individual citizens, which it is in I'll say a republic, close to a democracy, even in a capitalistic society, because you can be a capitalistic society, but you could still have a different form of government. Let's see here. But rather than individual citizens, under socialism, all citizens are share equally in economic resources as allocated by a democratically elected government. Equity. It's that equity bullshit. That's good. That's good to have that simplified right there. I would rather be under a communistic society rather than a socialistic society by that regard, and that's horrific. My defining decision would be I would choose neither. I would rather be in a republic that keeps checks and balances on a democratic society because we are not a fully democratic society. Democracies, they fail, and they invite in, they literally, democracies invite in socialistic and communistic societies. They really do. They literally just open up the fucking door and say, come right in, fuck up our shit. They really do. So, like, but yeah, it's like interesting. So he wants to like his little stupid comment earlier about, he's asking, what does anyone know about socialism? So he's making these fucking stupid fucking he's doing these stupid questions, making these stupid comments, but he's not like, okay, so I could, so if I, for example, if I say something and someone calls me out, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to double check things. I'm going to research a little bit more. I'm going to make sure if I'm going to argue and I'm going to debate that I have a good point. That's how that works. Otherwise, I lose by default. I'm a competitive person also, and I want to be right until I'm wrong. And when I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong and we move on. To add that, if a motherfucker wants to go on and put in my face that I was wrong, then that motherfucker, I'm going to double down. I'm going to find 5 different reasons why he's wrong instead of 1. That's what I'm going to need to do. Or I will go around the argument. I will play chess with him or her. That doesn't happen all the time. Most times people want to have a nice civil debate. And if I do happen to be wrong, it will be done civilly. It will be done very civilly. I prefer not to be wrong. It's communism, a form of socialism. Communism is usually distinguished from socialism, or has been, or is usually distinguished. It has been since the 1840s, apparently. I don't know how. Of course, again, all this shit would probably need to be fact-checked, too, potentially. Russia's, and they're going to end up being a freer society than ours if we continue to go down the socialistic route, which is what a lot of young people want right now in my generation and under. They don't even fully understand the implications of socialism and what that can bring, the restrictions that it brings, but they want to support it because they support a change to the system, because the system has been telling them for years and even decades now. It's against them. Simply, I was trying to find like some words, but just it's simple as that. It's against them. Every generation, every young generation is told that the system is against them, or they come up with that notion until they get older, and then the system is all of a sudden, they need to take control of the system. Age is a monopoly. It really is, and hypocrisy. Younger people always vote more democratic, more socially so. Tend to be more pro-socialism, for socialism, I should say, or a socialistic society. And then when they get older, they get a little bit more conservative, and they realize all the shit, the money they've earned, they want to keep. And then they all of a sudden become for individual liberty and rights. And the young people are like, they're young, they don't have that yet. They haven't earned dog shit, and they're entitled. And I'm like, well, why does this 60-year-old, this could be a 20-year-old, why does this 60-year-old have a house, a car, a family, a good job, and I don't? Because you're fucking 20 fucking years old, and he's fucking 60, and he's worked more in his life than you have. That's how that fucking works. And then the young person says, oh, that ain't fucking fair. I should have what he should have. And that's not everyone, but that's a good portion. Good small portion. God, I'm surrounded by my life. I am surrounded by people that are more liberal. I rarely find anyone that's more conservative, and I'm socially libertarian by choice, interestingly enough. But fucking Hasanabi, I don't see him go through this shit. This is just one video though.
I love you, dude. I love when a Nazi gets fucking pointed on screen and immediately some fucking dumbass is like, I like this Nazi. No, have fun, dude.